Hello everyone, Jeff here for Respawn Studios, back with a long video for Hearthstone. This is going to be an analysis of what I think is my perfected Mage deck. Of course it doesn't have a 100% win rate, no deck does. Here are my various numbers. My Mage is my one character I've maxed out. I have Rogue at 30, Druid at 29, the others around 10, 15 or so. You see, I played a decent amount. I have, 485 wins in play mode. I'm ranked 14 right now with 4 stars, about to be ranked 13. I'm on a winning streak in this current season. But first I want to show you my deck. I've played Murloc, I've played a balanced Druid, Control Priest. I played Hunter, which a lot of people you'll run into in ranked play use Hunter. But here we go. Here's the breakdown. No zeros, a couple ones, twos, threes, a bunch of fours. So it has a good curve. It goes obviously up and then down, but I think it's well balanced that way. You can beat aggressive decks and control decks, and you could play both ways yourself. The way I always prefer playing is being aggressive, trying to attack. I don't worry about keeping the board clear. I worry about doing damage, and making your opponent have to worry about clearing the board. So let's just analyze each of the cards here real quick. The Mana Worm, and of course you could always make a couple changes to these cards. The good play with the Mana Worm, of course, is getting out in your first turn. If you go second, you can then drop the coin, which gives it another one, and then like a mirror image, so it could be like a 3/3 on the first turn. Always use Frostbolt. 3 damage and it freezes an enemy is awesome. Clear the board early game, get your lower minions to keep constantly attacking. The Sorcerer's Apprentice, of course, a 3/2. Your spells cost 1 less, and even if it doesn't stay alive for long, it's a good distraction because your opponents will typically try and get rid of it early, so you can't play more spells. Fireball, 2 fireballs, 2 polymorphs always. Why? Because they're your control aspects. You can get rid of big minions. You could turn even like an 8/8 with taunt that has like an added divine shield into a 1/1 sheep right away. It's awesome. Or of course you could do fireball direct damage to the opponent for combos to end the game. The water elemental I didn't like for a long time, but because it only has 3 attack, but it only costs 4 and it has 6 health, so it does survive a lot of enemy spells. Blizzard I love, and I like having 2 of it. It's good to say against aggressive decks, get rid of Murlocs or the Rogue, clear a lot of their little minions out of the way, so they can't buff them, anything like that. I use 1 Flame Strike. In earlier builds of this, I had used some of the Pyroblast, but I don't like cards that cost that much. I like trying to win in the first 8 turns. Alright, so let's now go through. Let's talk about some neutrals. The Ooze is always a good choice if you want to switch anything out. Be it a 3/2 that only costs 2, and it destroys an enemy weapon. So if you're facing a warrior, or if you're facing a paladin and they play the True Silver Champion, if you're facing a hunter and they use the bow that keeps being buffed by secrets, you can get rid of those. The Knife Juggler, I know a lot of people like that, but there's really no point. I don't use a lot of low minions in this deck. There's the Owl, which silences a minion, which is always nice, but I think Polymorph is good for any of that too. I see a lot of people, especially Mage decks, use these crap cards that make you draw a card. No. No, that wastes a card in your deck to draw another card. That's stupid to me. For only 1/1s. That's terrible. Or 2/1. Harvest Golem is pretty versatile. It's a 2/3, and then of course when it dies it becomes a 2/1. Also, it's a good combo with Defender of Argus if you can give it 1/1 and taunt. Not necessarily on the same turn, but it's good stuff. The Panther 4/2 with stealth can be pretty cool, but I don't like using that. The Yeti, I'd like to have 1 Yeti. You might want to use 2 because it only costs 4 and it's a 4/5, which is always nice. Again, it could survive a lot of enemy spells. The Defender of Argus 1/1 with Taunt helps slow down your opponent's aggression. Leroy is probably my favorite legendary card. I use it in pretty much every deck because it's so good. 6 damage. It can help finish off your opponent. It only costs 4. But in this case, I'm not using it because I don't use that spell I'm showing right there, the Arcane Explosion, to do 1 damage to all enemies, or even the missiles that cost 1 to do 1 damage to 3 random enemies. So if I play it, it could instantly be killed the next turn if I don't win on that turn. And the way I have this deck set up, it just doesn't really work. The Azure Drake, the 4/4 with spell damage +1, and you draw a card is cool. And again, it could help as a distraction. Your opponent thinks, oh god, maybe they have a big spell coming, maybe a Pyroblast next turn, so let me kill this. So they focus on that, maybe give you some trade-offs. The Ogre is okay. The 4/2 with Divine Shield charge is good, but no, I like using the Sunwalker, a 4/5 with Divine Shield. Again, forces your opponent to make some moves. The Black Knight, I see a lot of people use, but to me it has no point in this deck. Destroy an enemy minion with Taunt, you might as well use a Fireball or Polymorph instead. I use Ragnarok. I know it costs 8. I don't like having many big cards like a Sarah or a Nixia, which I think could work in other decks. But Ragnarok is good, and I also have the Faceless Manipulator, so you could actually make a second Ragnarok if you want, or a second, say, Sunwalker, things like that. So there's some good combo potential. In your opening hands, you want to try and, of course, get your low cards, the 1s, 2s, 3s, to just have some good early plays. If you get 4s, it's always good to hold on to a Fireball and Polymorph, but you don't want to have, say, a Defender of Argus in your first hand. You want to have other minions to make it actually worthwhile to later play a Defender of Argus. But here we go. Here are 5 full gameplays. Yes, they're all wins. I don't win every match, obviously, but I want to show you different style decks that this could beat and how to beat it. So our first matchup is going to be Mage versus Mage. Now, a lot of mages you'll face will use a lot of the standard mage cards, a lot of secrets, a lot of other mage-specific minions and spells that I don't. So, Mage versus Mage is probably my favorite matchup because I know all of their cards inside and out, and I know that my deck is different than a lot of standard mages, so I think I have the upper hand. But my voice still isn't really that strong because I've been really sick the last few days. So as much as I would like to talk about strategy in all these matches, I'd rather let the matches speak for themselves. So if you want to skip around, I'll put timestamps actually in the description. This first match is going to be Mage versus Mage. Then I have versus 2 different Warlocks and 2 different Hunters. And one of the Warlocks actually uses Lord Jaraxxis, which is always fun. And I beat that. So this is 5 wins, 5 different kind of play styles. So if you want to see this deck in action, feel free to keep watching. And again, I'll try and put in the timestamps the starts of the different games. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoy this insight into my style of Mage deck. And I should be back with more videos soon.
For Dalaran. pain speak to me. Truth is my shield.
I got the best deals anywhere.
Justice shall prevail.
My shield for Argus!
I have no time for games.
Into the breach!
Let the pain speak to me.
Jaina versus Gul'dan!
Your soul shall be mine!
You asked for it.
Out the crowd!
You need a blessing?
You shall not pass. I wonder. I wonder.
We must cleanse the Sunwell.
Time for a little run. My shield for Argus!
Do you need a blessing?
We must cleanse the Sunwell.
Someday I'll be just like you!
almost out of time.
I wonder.
For the crusade!
I'll get right on it.
Get in there and fight, maggot!
You shall not pass.
For the crusade! I have no time for games.
The light protects me.
My shield for Argon!
Let none survive.
You win this time.
Jaina versus Rexa!
Let the hunt begin.
You asked for it.
I hope you like my invention. done.
I hope you like my invention.
Jaina versus Rexxar.
Let the hunt begin.
You asked for it.
I wonder.
Tazdingo! Yes! I wonder... I wonder...
Someday I'll be just like you!
Quickly.
Jaina versus Gul'dan.
Your soul shall be mine!
You asked for it. Thank you.
My shield for Argus!
I wonder. Face Jaraxxis, Eridal Lord of the Burning Legion!